Good morning for the next 7 minutes. Afternoon is almost here, and so is the second game of our triple header here on Field 1, opening up week 2 here in the FGCL, and we get this second game rolling with the South Bradenton Skeeters, coached by Morgan Kostler, 0-2 on the summer so far, against the Manatee Squeeze, 2-0 so far to begin the year, and the Squeeze, the designated away team, will give you their starting lineup in just a moment after we say hello. Gray Robertson from SEC Network Plus, Softball America, and the Crimson Tide Sports Network here with producer Ashley. Gracie Ashley. Ashley Gracie is not your name. She is the official scorer standing behind me. She'll be helping out with the reviews. We're very excited to be here yet again. Going to be here all week. Going to be here all summer. And we get to guide you through this midweek matchup between the Skeeters and the Squeeze. And here are the starting lineups for the Manatee Squeeze, coached by Taylor Newton. Lacey St. Jean, the right fielder, will lead off with Brooke Massengale, the catcher, batting second. Mickey Kostler's at third, hitting third. Haley Dieter, the cleanup hitter, plays first base. Elise Crescio, the center fielder, is in the 5 spot, with Liesl Osteen making her FGCL debut, playing in left in the 6 hole. Dylan Suggs, DP, bats 7th. Lillian Martineau, the shortstop, is in the 8th spot, with Maddie Hubbard, today's second baseman, batting 9th, and Channa Wolf, the extra hitter, batting 10th. And they'll face in the circle out of Weber, Miranda Gill. Give you Gill's summer stats in just a moment. Sophomore last year for Weber out of Sarasota, Florida. And we'll get you those statistical numbers momentarily as the first pitch is grounded to second. 1 pitch, 1 out. Gill has thrown 4 innings, an ERA of 0 so far this summer. And she gets strike 1. And to Brooke Massengale. Hot shot, fair ball down the third base line. Brooke Massengale, portaling from East Carolina, will jump her way to second. 1 out double for the Squeeze here in the first. Defensive alignment for the Skeeters before anything else happens. Castillo in left, Wes Miller in center, Riley in right. Muller at third, Rudders at short, Barton at second, Miller at first, Weinbarger behind the dish. Catching the balls and strikes of Miranda Gill. And here's Mickey Kostler, who had the game-winning RBI in the last time out for the Squeeze, that win over the River Mocs. Kostler through the 5-6 hole. And now she's going to second. Second and third, 1 out for the Squeeze here in the first. Give it a single advance on the throw, so second and third, 1 out, and a first pitch strike to Haley Dieter, portaling from Utah. Dieter hitting 167 this summer. Does have an RBI. Started her career at Liberty before going to play for the Utes this past season. And she smokes that out to left center all the way to the fence, and 2 runs will come in. Squeeze quickly making a statement. 2 RBI double for Haley Dieter. All she does is hit doubles. 2-0 here in the first. And Morgan Kostler out for a meeting in the circle. Chatting with the entire Skeeters infield, which gives us a moment to let you know if you're tuning in, and I see that some of you are, you can tweet me at Gray_Robertson. We'll shout you out. I've heard from some Skeeters in the past. Don't think we've heard from the Squeeze yet on Twitter. So if you're watching, we'll shout you out. Let us know where you are, who you are, what you're doing on this Monday morning. Foul ball by Elise Crescio. We are a little early, so if you're just getting in, Haley Dieter just hit a 2 RBI double, setting up the Oregon Duck Crescio, who's hitless on the summer, but working with a 500 OBP. Crescio hails from Georgia, specifically Jasper. There's a strike, 2-2. Full count. I have received some follows from people, but I want to hear from you. Again, it's me, Gracie, and you folks at home. We're all hanging out as that one gets all the way to the backstop. Wild pitch will send Dieter to third, and the walk puts Crescio aboard. As we officially hit high noon here on the East Coast, here is Liesl Osteen. Portaling from UCLA, but sporting that very beautiful UCLA batting helmet. I love that. It's got the Bruin on the left, that B on the front. Osteen was not here this past weekend, but getting to start in the 6th spot for the Squeeze. Simi Valley, California native. Sophomore last year for Kelly I and the Bruins. Saw her a lot in the field. Runner goes, and no throw. As Crescio gets the stolen base. Osteen was in right field a good bit when Caitlin Terry was pitching, and Terry was in the lineup. So 2nd and 3rd, and Osteen skies that into foul ground. Nice catch made on the run by Jenna Redders for out number 2. And in steps Dylan Suggs. Also hitting the portal from Campbell. Fouls off the first pitch. 200 average, or I beg your pardon, 200 OBP on the summer. Looking for a first hit. Tallahassee, Florida native. Smoked to short and caught by Redders. Inning over. So there was a chance for more, but the Squeeze do get on the board first, thanks to that double from Dieter. And we go to the home half. We'll see the Skeeters offense for the first time here on Field 1, Game 2 of our triple header here at Palmasola Park. All right, let's kick it to the bottom of the first. 2-0 squeeze over the Skeeters. And here's the starting lineup for Morgan Kostler's Skeeters. You see her there, the head coach of South Bradenton, on the right side of your screen. Adelaide Hawk, the DP, will lead off with Avery Barton playing second and batting second. Jenna Rudders, the shortstop's in the 3 spot. Tegan Riley, right field, cleans up. Alexa Muller, third base, is in the 5 hole. Then Elisa Weinbarger catching, batting 6th. Avery Miller, the first baseman, hits 7th. Brooke Steinhorst, the extra hitter, is batting 8th. Ava Castillo, the left fielder, is in the 9 spot. Kate Westmiller turns things over as a center fielder in the 10 hole, and they'll do all of this against the portaling sophomore last year for South Carolina, Katie Becker, out of Granite Falls, North Carolina. Transferred to Columbia, South Carolina from Charlotte following Ashley Chastain Woodard, and now back in the portal yet again. And she has been impressive this summer. 2 innings thrown, I beg your pardon, 3 full innings thrown, and an ERA of 0. Does have a 1-0 record here this summer. And starting off against Adelaide Hawk. Here's a strike, 1-1. Hawk previously with New Mexico, going to Lubbock Christian. Or beg your pardon. Think of her fellow Skeeter, Ava Castillo. Hawk out of Oklahoma City. And the strikeout for Becker. 1 down. Gonna see Katie Becker work low in the zone. Her drop ball in the summer opener was really, really good. Keeps it extremely low. Hard to get anything up in the air against her. And now she'll face Avery Barton. Barton out of Mercer from Monticello, Georgia. Loves driving sports cars, playing golf, watching movies. Need to get her movie list. Bit of a cinema fan myself. I dabble in cinema. Called strike 1 and 2. Barton on the summer is hitting 200. OBP at 333 for the Mercer Bear. And another strikeout for Becker. Hello. Back-to-back Ks. And we'll read the squeeze defense, although they haven't had to do much yet. Out on left, Liesel Osteen. Crescio is in center. Lisi St. Jean in right. Kostler at third. Martineau at short. Monty Hubbard at second. Dieter at first. And Massengale behind the dish. Called strike to Jenna Redders. Redders out of Green Bay. Middleton, Wisconsin native. Junior last year for the Phoenix. Defense will have to make a play here. It's Monty Hubbard. And the little flip will quickly end the bottom of the first. Nicely done by Katie Becker. 1-2-3 with a couple strikeouts, and we go to the second. Squeeze up 2-zip. Bottom of the order for the squeeze here in the second, 8, 9, 10. Martineau, Hubbard, and Wolf. Facing Miranda Gill yet again out in the circle. Did get our first tweet of the game from Holly Castillo, I believe in the house. Another humid day in Florida. Thank goodness for that breeze. Go Skeeters. And a good start to the top of the second for Miranda Gill in the circle. Thank you for tweeting, Holly. Strike one to Lillian Martineau. Portaling from Georgia Tech. Quickly 0-2. Martineau hitting .250 this summer with an RBI. On-base percentage at .500. And that just had eyes right through the 5-6 hole on an 0-2 pitch that was off speed. Nice piece from Lillian Martineau protecting and finding a spot for the leadoff single. And in steps the freshman last year for Patrick Murphy and Alabama, Maddie Hubbard. Out of Huntsville. Hubbard family, if you're watching, hello. Maddie, basically the same spot. Back-to-back left side singles. And the squeeze is working on something here in the second inning. Second hit for Hubbard, who entered that AB with a .667 OBP this summer. Shanna Wolf now will try and keep the hit parade going. Junior last year for Mid-Am Christian. Takes it high for ball one. Shanna hitting .500 here this summer, 1 for 2. Just off, 2-1. Squeeze, coming into the summer, viewed as a major contender here in the FGCL. I think all of us saw their roster and figured they'd be in the mix. They backed it up big time on opening day with a run rule win over another team, getting a lot of buzz, the River Mocs, and then took them down in a really fun pitcher's duel on Saturday. Wolf, blooper to left, that'll drop. A run will come in to score as Martineau kept it going. Now Hubbard had obstruction. And by rule, Hubbard will have to go back to third. Wolf gets the RBI single and then advance to second on the throw. I refuse. No one ask. I will not review any obstruction. Not going to happen. We are past that as a society. 3-0 squeeze. And second and third, nobody out for the top of the order. Danger time for the Skeeters. Lacey St. Jean popped up to short. There's the first out. We do have a challenge system in place, but I told the coaches, half jokingly, as Bert Massengale steps in, if they ask me to challenge for obstruction, I'm just going to have them ejected. Because please no, after working the World Series, I'm good. Saw enough of it. 0-2. Massengale doubled and scored in the first. Waits on that and fouls it off. Good stop by Weinbarger, 1 and 2. Ooh, good hold. Massengale was leaning out of her shoes. But held off, 2 and 2. Hubbard on third. Wolf on second. Massengale with a foul. That's heading towards field 2. Give you scoreboard updates periodically. Field 2 right now, it's Finns and Mox. Bottom of the first. Finns up 1-0. Under the glove of Gill, and a little bit of a bobble. Not really a bobble. It was just stuck in the glove for a moment for Barton. A run will score on the RBI ground out, and it's 4-0. Hubbard comes in. Here's Mickey Kostler, who's already singled and scored today. And she will lift that towards center on the run, and making the catch is Wes Miller for the final out. But 2 more in for the squeeze. And we've played 2. 4-0 your score. Skeeter, I beg your pardon, we've played an inning and a half. We go to the bottom of the second. Skeeters, the home team, will try and answer when we come back. We'll let Morgan Kostler come into view in the third base coaching box, the head coach for the South Bradenton Skeeters. Back yet again this summer. Here she comes. There she is. With their team down 4-0. 4, 5, 6 due up. Riley, Muller, and Weinbarger against Katie Becker. Off to a nice start in the circle for her squad. Showing good velocity. 1-0 to Tegan Riley. Out of Lynn. Tegan, a returning FGCLer. Sophomore last year for Lynn, out of Tampa, Florida. Give you her numbers. Hitting 0, the batting average. 333 the OBP. Looking for her first hit of a summer. Was really impressive last year for the Skeeters. But Katie Becker's cooking with gas. 3rd strikeout. And 1 down here in the bottom of the second. In steps the Harvard Crimson Alexa Muller. First year last year for the Crimson. out of Palm Beach Gardens. Muller hitting 200. 333 OBP. And quickly 1 and 2. Called strike 3. Oh, Katie Becker. Yes, ma'am. Gnarly on the outer half. Pinpoint location with the velocity. That's tough. Annalisa Weinbarger will try and extend this bottom of the second. Redshirt junior last year for Winthrop out of Yulee, Florida. First hit of a day, first base runner of a day. And first pitch attack. 2-out single for the Skeeters. Nice job by Weinbarger. And Weinbarger will get the courtesy runner as the catcher. Let's see who it is. Looks like Jenna Redders. Now Avery Miller. Miller out of Longwood has been the toughest out for sure for the Skeeters offense. Really good start to her summer. Quickly 2-0. Alexandria, Virginia native, sophomore last year for the Lancers, who's hitting 1,000. Two for 2, but has walked 3 times. And now a 4th. Little bit of drama here. 2 on, 2 out for the Skeeters here in the second. Lindsay Chadwick will hit. Straight sub for Steinhorst, who I think she's working with Erica Beach right now over in the pen. So we get to see Chadwick out of Jacksonville, the Dolphin. Take ball 1. Junior last year for JU out of Tampa, Florida. Chadwick looking for her first hit of the summer. Has reached OBP at 200, and that was crushed foul. That is definitely going to get to the other field, 1 and 2. Blooped, and Hubbard couldn't get it cleanly, and a run will score. What was the call? I didn't see anything. All right, run is in, 4-1. That'll be an RBI single for Chadwick. Just found a spot. Weinbarger, I beg your pardon, Redders kept running. Miller's on third. It's 4-1. That was weird. Now a first pitch strike to Ava Castillo. Slap to third. Good throw, inning over. But a run does come in on kind of a squirrely little play, and the Skeeters get an answer as we go to the third. 4-1 squeeze. One defensive change for the Skeeters as we go to the third. Hawk is now at second. Barton back to the DP spot. And here's the chance for the squeeze. With 4, 5, 6 due up. And Dieter off the glove of Gill. The throw from second is in time. Well, Adelaide Hawk, nice play. The 1-4-3 ground out gets the first of the inning. And Gill definitely stopped a base hit for Dieter right there, because that was pretty well struck. Now over to Elise Crescio. She walked in the first inning. Foul ball. Well, let's check back in on the Twitter machine. I see the numbers. I see people are listening and watching. Has anybody tweeted? No. Just Holly Castillo. At Gray, GRAY_Robertson. We'll shout you out. Good pitch, 0-2. Crescio, part of Coach Lombardi's Oregon Ducks squad that went to the World Series this year. Had a good run. Gave Oklahoma all they wanted. Tussled with UCLA on Thursday. Had that just epic extra inning battle with Ole Miss. Hosted that super against Liberty after coming back and beating Stanford twice on Sunday in regionals. Crescio to left field. And that is cut off and left. Now keep the very speedy Crescio to a single. That's a really good job by Castillo to make sure that didn't get to the fence. 1 out base hit for the squeeze here in the third. And here's Liesl Osteen. On top of that, foul, 0-1. Have not had the chance to meet Liesl and met all the players pretty much on the practice day or Friday and Saturday, and got the lineup today and said, oh, Liesl's here. Got to get to know her at some point. Because truly one of my favorite parts of this job is meeting all the players, hearing their stories, getting to know them, and then during the softball season, working at Alabama or SEC Network or Softball America and coming across a box score and saying, hey, FGCL. Osteen on the ground to second. Hawks' throw is dropped. 2 on, 1 out. Gonna have to give that an E6. Redders could not field it cleanly. The throw was a little low, but that's one you probably got to catch. And a lot of speed on base with Dylan Suggs at the plate. Suggs lined out in the first inning. You know, she's looking to get a hold of one. Two and two. I think Suggs might have thought for a second that was strike 3. 'Tis not. Full count. If I'm Gill, I'm honestly going right back to what I got a couple swings and misses on. There's that kind of off-speed pitch, middle out. Instead, she misses away and they're loaded. Not what the doctor ordered for the Skeeters. Bases loaded, 1 out for Lillian Martineau, who singled and scored in the second inning. Martineau with 1 RBI on the summer. But she can balloon that total with something in the gap here. Martineau in the portal from Georgia Tech. Out of Connecticut. Smoke to left field. It's got a lot of carry and it's over the head of a left fielder, Castillo. Crescio will score. Osteen will come in. And there are the 2 RBIs. Lillian Martineau held to a single, but she drives in a pair to make it 6-1 squeeze. Two for 2 day for Lillian Martineau. And that will draw a change in the circle for the Skeeters. We'll step aside for a moment, tell you about the new pitcher when we come back. 6-1 your score. Squeeze in command. New pitcher for the South Bradenton Skeeters is Grace Rourke. Rourke out of Mercer. The righty from Frederick, Maryland. And have not seen much of her this summer. Only 3 innings thrown. That was back on opening day. ERA of 2.33. In for Miranda Gill with runners on first and second. 1 out. Monty Hubbard at the plate. First pitch misses for ball 1. Hubbard singled and scored in the second. And Gill goes 2 1/3. 8 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, 2 walks, no Ks. Is responsible for both runners on base. 2-0 on Monty. Part of a long lineage, sporadic but long lineage of Alabama players coming to the FGCL. Cat Grill was here. Should have been All-American. Callie Hevlin was here. Can't believe we didn't get her that this season. After what she pulled off. Cat was an Aquanaut. Callie Hevlin was a slice. Monty a squeeze. Also Lauren Essman, who never played in the FGCL while at Alabama but transferred there, was a squeeze. Alex Salter was a slice as well. Hubbard down the right field line. That's foul. Full count. In case you missed it earlier, if you're wondering, how does Gray know all that Alabama stuff? Because I work at Alabama on the radio crew for the Crimson Tide. Hubbard chases low and in, and a strikeout for Rourke. Second out of the inning. And up comes Shanna Wolf. RBI single for Wolf in the second. And obviously the biggest adjustment here, just quite a bit of an increase in velocity from Rourke to Gill. I should say from Gill to Rourke now, who's just throwing with a little bit more heat. And now a 1-2 count on Wolf. Over to first base. Play made, side retired as Miller steps on the bag. And only the 2 runs come in for the squeeze, but it's a 6-1 lead now. Skeeters will try and answer in the bottom of the third when we come back. Pitching change for the squeeze as we go to the bottom of the third. And Kaylin Yoder, the lefty out of Liberty, gets her first action of this ball game. as Taylor Newton comes in to tell us that Yoder is pitching and some more changes, so we'll take a quick break. Hang on just a moment. All right, subs are in. We'll get them to you in a moment as the lefty out of Greenwood, Delaware, the sophomore last year for Liberty, Kalen Yoder, gets the ball here in the third, facing Kate Westmiller. Longwood Lancer takes ball one. And we'll give you Yoder's summer numbers as well. If I can find them. Three innings pitched for Yoder, an ERA of 0. Does have 5 strikeouts and a win to her name. And now, even with Kate Westmiller out of Longwood, 1-1. Westmiller hitting 200 this summer with a 200 OBP. Other changes for the Squeeze defensively. Monty Hubbard is at third, Taryn Massey in at short, and Lily St. Jean is playing second base. Well struck but foul. So let's flash the third base cam and take a look at Morgan Kostler, the head coach for the Skeeters. Always an interesting matchup. Don't know why it gave switch down the score bug. Because her sister Mickey is on the squeeze. No longer in the field, but had a hit earlier today. Ooh, Yoder attacking in her half, 2-2. Katie Becker went 2 innings, 2 hits, 1 run was earned, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. I like the stuff. Ooh, that hit her. Yoder looking inside again, got too far in, and that's a leadoff hit by pitch here in inning number 3. And it turns the lineup over to Adelaide Hawk. So you got Mickey on the squeeze, you got Morgan coaching the Skeeters, and you have Cord Kostler tweeting in. Cord Kostler says, Skeeters and Squeeze broadcasting coming through loud and clear, always listening in, even when I'm there. I believe he's down here to my left as Westmiller takes off. I believe that'll be a pass ball. And Hawk, who struck out in the first, has a runner in scoring position with nobody out. There's a strike, 1-1. Over on field 2. Got started about 15 minutes after us. Top of the third. 4-2. Finns lead the River Mocs over there. And they might have to pause play. 1-2. clock stays alive. I mentioned it over the weekend. I'll mention it again. Kaylin Yoder from Liberty got the final strikeout to win the College Station Regional. First time we've seen the number 1 seed go down before Supers in the Super Regional era. That was her first appearance of the postseason when she got it and made history. Set up what would officially become, in my eyes, the craziest NCAA tournament we've had, certainly since I've covered the sport. My first year was 2017 at Alabama. Payoff. Ball 4. All right, a little bit of trouble for Kaylin Yoder. 2 on, nobody out. Pair of free passes. Yoder is not allowed to hit yet this summer, but has walked a few. And there's Avery Barton, who struck out in the first inning. Outer half called strike. Westmiller is out at third. Let's see. Thought they might ask for a challenge. They're not going to do it. It's a 0-1 on Barton. Yeah, Morgan Kostler was asking. Team did not say yes. Now back to Barton against Yoder. It's just out. I'm a little surprised while Westmiller was going to third that Hawk didn't try and get to second. Full count. Got her. They're caught stealing, and then a strikeout low in the zone. Retires Barton. 2 down for Jenna Redders. Ground out in the first inning for the Green Bay Phoenix. That just missed the camera. Wild pitch, and they can't find the ball. Hawk will head for third. A wild pitch. And on the same wild pitch, first to third for Adelaide Hawk after Massengale had trouble hunting it down. And man, that makes Hawk not taking second on that steal from Westmiller even more crucial. Might come in to score there. 2-0 on Redders. There's a strike, 2-1. Wind is blowing in, but not as hard as it has in the other days we've played here at Palmasola. Two and two. That got away. play at the plate. Yoder couldn't field it. And another wild pitch will score a run. 6-2. Now fouled off by Redder, still a full count. So base is clear, 2 gone. Ball 4. That's the 3rd free pass given up by Yoder. And another base runner for the Skeeters here in this inning with Tegan Riley, who struck out in the 2nd due up. Strike 1. Skeeters hanging around. They're a key hit or 2 away from really making this one interesting. Right over to first. Dieter's there. Side retired. But a run does come in for the Skeeters. And all without a hit. 3 free passes. And even with a caught stealing, it's 6-2 squeeze as we go the 4th. Well, here we are after 3. 6-2 squeeze over the Skeeters. I'll tell you what, the pace of this game has been a little on the slower side. Top of the order due up for the squeeze. St. Jean, Massengill, and the other St. Jean, Lilly, as Lisi lays down a beautiful bunt. The throw wouldn't have been in time even if it was on line. That's how you do it. Lisi St. Jean, the JMU Duke, by way of the portal in NC State, starts the 4th with a base hit. Good stuff from Lisi. I would love to see more bunts in the league just because, A, the dirt is very giving for that, and B, you're working with defenses who haven't worked together at all. Strike 1 to Brooke Massengale. Doubled and scored in the 1st. RBI ground out in the 2nd. Squeeze has put up 2 runs in every frame so far. Smoked off the glove of the 2nd baseman, and no throw at first. Good recovery by Hawk. Fielder's choice retires Lisi St. Jean. And that one's always hard because you got to hold. thinking she's going to make the catch, and then, well, just got to hope the hitter gets down the line. Now the other St. Jean, Lily out of Villanova, will hit. Another year in the FGCL for Lily St. Jean. Sitting 500 here with a couple RBI, or beg your pardon, one RBI. OBP at 667. All Big East earlier in her career. Grace Rourke going to work in the circle yet again. But a 4-pitch walk puts 2 on, and nobody's covering third. Now, good recovery by Muller. So the chance is there for Haley Dieter. 2 RBI double in the first, and then a ground out in the third that probably should have been a hit, but Gill knocked it down. Infield made a good play. Oh, and 2. Coming up a little bit later. Slice and Aquanauts, marquee game of the day on this field. A couple 2-0 squads who I'm really excited to see face off. Just off there, 1 and 2. Really like that pitch from Rourke. Kind of had Dieter handcuffed. Good job by Dieter not going after it. Called strike 3. Rourke paints the outer edge, and Dieter goes down looking for the second out of the inning. Which brings up Elise Crescio. A walk and a single, has scored a run today.
This is the Pocket Radar Smart Coach.
Crescio out to right. That's going to go foul. Crescio in the air to left, and this should be easy for Castillo. Catch made. Side retired. Good job by Grace Rourke getting out of the top of the fourth, and it's still a 4-run lead for the Squeeze as we go to the home half. Skeeters offense will be back up when we return.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Well, Muller family, if you picked up on that, that was Alexa's lead off inning for the Skeeters here in the bottom of the fourth. 5, 6, 7 due up. Starting off with Alexa Muller, then Weinbarger, then Avery Miller against Kaylin Yoder. And Elisa's waving. It is 6-2 Squeeze, bottom four. Just here doing my full other duties as assigned, including telling the players the score. So Muller will lead off. She struck out looking in the second. And strike one from Yoder. To 3-1. And bigger pardon, 2-2 the count on Muller. Well struck to left, and Osteen will let it fall. Leadoff single for Alexa Muller. If the family is watching, and I hope they are, they got to be going nuts as Alexa Muller stands on first. And just a reminder, this stream is the exclusive stream, so other streamers, please halt your activities. I won't name names, but I could. I won't. Annalise Weinbarger singled and scored in the second. Strike one. Can whip out World Series media policy rules if I can, which I learned a lot about in Oklahoma City this year. Weinbarger sends it straight up, and Yoder says, me. Indeed, she's got it. One down. Avery Miller walked. Has still not been retired yet here this summer. Just been a walk machine. Back to the backstop. Another wild pitch. Muller's on second base. And where is it? I think it was stuck in the backstop signage. Another one. And 60 more feet for Muller. I don't know what it is about when Avery Miller steps in the box, but it's just like all the pitchers lose total command of where the strike zone is. Ball again. Muller holds up at third, but that's a 4-pitch walk for the second time to Avery Miller, and they're on the corners for the Skeeters. Bottom 4, something brewing. Lindsey Chadwick already has an RBI single. That hit by Alexa Muller, by the way, the first hit that Yoder's given up this summer. But the free passes have been a bit of an issue. Chadwick out towards center field. The park will hold it, but it's deep enough to bring in Muller. And the sac fly will make it 6-3. Two down here in the fourth. Ava Castillo couldn't hold off. 0-1. She grounded out her first time up. And Yoder gets the K to end the inning. But another run in for the Skeeters. And they keep just sticking around, clawing back. We've played 4, 6-3, squeeze. They'll look to answer when we return. 6, 7, 8 due up for the squeeze. Osteen, Suggs, and Massey against Grace Rourke, who settled things down. Osteen on the ground to third. Muller's there. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 5th. Grace Rourke came in a dicey 2nd and 3rd 1 out situation in the 3rd. Got a couple squeeze to get out on a strikeout and a ground out, and then since then, not much traffic. Ball 1 to Dylan Suggs, who's seen it well. A walk in the 3rd, lined out on a well-hit ball in the 1st. Big cut, 2-1. Six runs in for the squeeze on 9 hits, but they have left 7 on base, so could have been more. Skeeters pitching with Gill to start and Rourke since. Done a nice job kind of holding down the squeeze offense enough to linger in this game. The Skeeters offense just keeps chipping away. There's ball 4 to Suggs, base runner for the squeeze here in the 5th. So Suggs waits on first base. And we get our first opportunity to take a look at Taryn Massey here in this game. Massey out of NC State. First pitch ball to the Roxborough, North Carolina native. Has left the yard here this summer. And will line it to first, double play. Really nicely done over at first base by the new first baseman, who I didn't even get to, Brooks Steinhorst. Welcome into the field. That'll end the top of the 5th. And the Skeeters definitely have the momentum on their side. 6-3 squeeze, but the Skeeters feeling it as we go to the bottom of the 5th. First pitch is foul down the left field line by Kate Westmiller. Against a new pitcher as we go to the bottom of the fifth. Chana Wolf is on to throw. Mid-Am Christian product. Has thrown 2 innings so far this summer, working with an ERA of 0. And 0-2 on Kate Westmiller. It's 10-1-2 for the Skeeters with Hawk and Barton waiting. And a strikeout for Chana Wolf to start the bottom of the fifth. Line for Kaylin Yoder. She goes 2 innings. 1 hit, 2 runs, both earned. 3 walks and 2 strikeouts. So far for the Skeeters today, 3 runs on 3 hits. They've left 4 on base. First pitch ball to Adelaide Hawk as we go back to the top of the order. Strikeout, walk, and a run for Adelaide. 1-1 now. If you're just joining us, Squeeze at one point led this game 6-1, but the Skeeters have just slowly hung around, added a run here, added a run there. And if you're tuning in, we want to hear from you. So tweet me at Gray_Robertson, at Gray_Robertson. We would also prefer if the Wolf got the K, but they'll have to throw down to first to finish it. There you go. Back-to-back strikeouts for Wolf, 2 down. We would also appreciate it if the other person out here live streaming would stop. That would be great. So let them know. Please and thank you. 2 gone for Avery Barton. She struck out twice, 0 for 2. Tough beat for Barton, who's facing now the 3rd pitcher of her day. And quickly 0-2. Good movement from Chana Wolf. Massengill could not hold on. Still no balls and 2 strikes. In the air towards left, Osteen tracks it down. It's a very efficient 1-2-3 frame for Chana Wolf. How about that? First inning of work today. And she takes down 10-1-2 in the Skeeters order and moves us to the 6th. Squeeze up by 3. Well, the Squeeze will look to start something against Grace Rourke. It's been hard to do. 9-10-1 due up. Hubbard, Wolf, and St. Jean. First pitch strike to Maddie Hubbard. Single, run scored, and a strikeout. She was the first batter to face Grace Rourke back in the 3rd inning. Gray Robertson here with Gracie Ashley, producer, other reviewer, and scorekeeper. and all of you out there tuning in. I've heard from some of you on the Twitter. I'd love to hear from more, but some of you don't have social media, which honestly I recommend. Two one for Hubbard. Nice stop by Muller at third. The throw is wayward. And Hubbard will head to second base. Lead off in scoring position for the Squeeze here in the sixth. That'll be an E5. Put Hubbard on second. It was a nice stop by Muller, and then the throw is just a little wide. Would have had her if it was on target. First pitch ball to Channa Wolf. RBI single and a ground out for Channa. Trying to turn the lineup over with Lisi St. Jean waiting on deck. Two and two. And a strikeout for Rourke. Nice comeback after the error for the first out. Lisi St. Jean. Take a first pitch ball. Lisi 1 for 3 with a bunt single. So far, the only hit given up by Rourke. That one's foul. 1-1. Another slap foul. 1-2. Slap towards left, and that'll fall for a base hit. And Hubbard will round third and come in to score. Everybody just kept going. 7-3 Squeeze. Lisi St. Jean with the RBI. And we'll give her an RBI double. She just kept on trucking. Got to please the head coach for the Squeeze, Taylor Newton, in the third base coaching box. Ball one to Brooke Massengale. Taylor played her college ball at JMU. Back again as the Squeeze leading lady. Massengale sends it up in the air. Catch made at second base. And Hawk retires Massengale for the second out of the inning. Which will bring up Lily St. Jean, trying to drive in Lisi. Lily walked back in the fourth. That was a 4-pitch walk, so first pitch misses. I'm not seeing a strike yet for Lily St. Jean. Still no, 2-0. Sure, she'd like to. It's not like Grace Work isn't trying to, just sometimes one of those things. Avery Miller knows what that's like. She's walked 1,000,000 times in 3 games. There's a strike, 2-1. Full count. Got her. Nice job by Grace Rourke. After the RBI double, strikeout of Lily St. Jean ends the inning, but a big extra run for the Squeeze. The lead is back to 4 as we go to the bottom of the 6th here on Field 1. Let's see if the Skeeters can respond here in the bottom of the 6th. 3-4-5. Ball 1 to Jenna Redders. It's Redders, Riley, and Muller against Channa Wolf, who came on in the 5th and said, hello, strikeout, strikeout, flyout. Jenna Redders, 0 for 1 with a ground out and a walk. Now a couple balls in. Wind's still blowing in. It's actually picking up a bit now compared to this morning. And this will go right into that wind. Long run for Crescio. She'll make the catch for the first out. So in steps Tegan, beg your pardon, Tegan Riley, 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a line out. Right into the wind again. This time out to right field. 2 down. On the other field, top 5, the Rivermocks now lead the Finns 10-4 in the, again, top of the 5th inning. So that one has gotten a little sideways. Finns led that one 4-1, I believe. That almost hit the elbow of Alexa Muller, who's 1 for 2. Strikeout looking and a single. Also scored a run in the 4th. Jammed foul, 1-1. That foul ball hit my car, Gracie?
Oh, like the third bounce.
On the hop. Okay, I can live with that. Great. But now I know the angle for my car to be in danger. 1-1. Beautiful. 1 and 2. That's gonna get stopped at second base, and the throw will end the inning. How about Lily St. Jean? Great range to get there and wipe a base hit off the board. Another clean inning for Chana Wolf. And we're off to the 7th. 7-3. Squeeze a look for insurance when we come back. Well, a re-entry in the circle. Miranda Gill is back. Facing for the squeeze. 4-5-6. Reagan Hickey will start off the 7th and take first pitch ball. Grace Rourke goes 3 2/3 in relief. 2 hits, 1 run. It was unearned. 2 walks and 4 Ks. Good stuff from Grace Rourke in relief. And now Gill back on to try and keep squeeze where they are. 1-1 on the Virginia Cavalier. Reagan Hickey looking for her first hit of the summer, but is sporting a 333 OBP. And she got a lot of that out to left field. But backing up and making the catch is Castillo for the first out. First pitch strike to Elise Crescio. Out in front. 0-2. That made a loud sound. Crescio walked in the first, singled and scored in the third, flew out in the fourth. She'll take that one, 1-2. Skeeters will look to conjure the comeback with a pretty good portion of a lineup up, 6, 7, 8. Crescio tomahawks that past everybody on the left side of the infield. And with Crescio's speed, I'll be honest, even if that's fielded cleanly by Redders, I don't see a world where she's able to throw her out. So that'll be a 1-out base hit for Elise Crescio. And here's Liesl Osteen, who's 0 for 3, but has scored a run. Osteen towards right and falling foul. Osteen in the air to left. Castillo is there for the second out. So 2 gone for Dylan Suggs, who's jammed, and watch out, just over our head. Line out and a couple walks for Dylan. Quickly 0-2. Good stuff from Gill. Kind of a tough start. Went 2 1/3. Gave up 8 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, 2 walks, no Ks, but has come in, found the strike zone quickly. But Suggs will find a gap. That was smoked all the way to right center, and Crescio is heading for home. RBI single Dylan Suggs. There's an extra run for the squeeze here in the 7th. It's 8-3. That was just absolutely mashed by Dylan Suggs. And Terran Massey now, first pitch on the ground to short. Easy flip to second will end the frame. But another run in for the squeeze, 8-3 as we go to the bottom of the 7th and the last chance for the Skeeters here on field 1. Bottom 7, 8-3, squeeze over the Skeeters. Skeeters, though, will have a lot of power and some good pitch selection due up. 6, 7, 8, Weinbarger, Miller, and Steinhorst against Chana Wolf, who's done quite well in her 2 innings of relief. And she starts with a swing and a miss on Annalisa Weinbarger, 1-2 with a run scored. That run was collected by the courtesy runner, but it, I believe goes down for Annalisa. And just a reminder, one last warning, if anybody else is streaming these games, we are going to ask you to stop. So, I've seen one person do it this game. It's not cool. Don't do it. Please and thank you. And if it goes down again, we might have to shut it down. Because I haven't named names, but I could, because it shows up on the place where I'm looking. So, just a warning. Over to third, Hubbard will make the play for the first out. Well hit by Weinbarger. One down. Now Avery Miller, who just continues to get on base. Can Channel Wolf crack the code? Miller has walked twice. She's reached every time she stepped to the plate here this summer. A lot of walks, couple hits for Avery Miller. Full count. Avery Miller of a Longwood Lancer. Trying to pass the baton. She will. My gracious. Good luck, pitchers. Nobody can get out Avery Miller. 1 out single. Now Brooke Steinhorst will try and make this a true chance for the Skeeters. 0-1 on Brooke. From Madison out of Poynette, Wisconsin. Steinhorst batting 1,000 this summer. So, you know, just another Skeeter that has not been retired yet. Coming up next, Slice and Aquanauts right here, 2:30. Steinhorst. There's one, chance for two, no. Steinhorst beats it out down the line. The Skeeters are down to their final out with Ava Castillo, who's 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout. That is bunted right above the camera for strike one. Oh, and 2. And that'll do it. Channel Wolf wraps it up. A great pitching day all the way around for the Squeeze. And they stay undefeated. An 8-3 victory for the Manatee Squeeze over the South Bradenton Skeeters. The Squeeze moved to 3-0 on the summer. The Skeeters drop to 0-3. And just like against the Mocs, kind of came from all parts of the order for the Skeeters. And then a good start by Becker. Yoder ran into a bit of trouble, but she threw well. And then quite the finish by Channel Wolf to wrap it up and secure things for the now 3-0 Manatee Squeeze. So that'll do it for Game 2. Coming up in about 45 minutes, right on the money, it'll be the final game of our triple header here at Palmasola. Aquanauts and Slice coming up in just a bit. For producer Gracie Ashley and everybody from the FGCL, I'm Gray Robertson saying so long as the Squeeze take down the Skeeters 8-3. One more game coming up in just a bit. We'll see you then, everybody.